What's up guys, welcome back from the YgoPro duel video. Next match, Cross-Banlist Cup. Next matchup here in top 16 playoffs. We have two decks of the more balanced group, I guess. We have Sky Striker, Trickstars, even though Sky Strikers, we can't call it balanced. Featuring Trickstars versus Dark Synchro from 2016. So which deck has the advantage? I kind of agree with the people here, and the voting from the previous video is that in theory, you know, like Trickstar, Sky Striker should have the advantage over Dark Synchro. A couple of comments are saying it here as well. I mean, from the top of my head, if you look at the things like hand traps, you know, Gamma, Ash Blossom, Troll and Lockbird, not to forget, it's it could be an MVP against a deck like Dark Synchro. But yeah, then again, Dark Synchro is a deck that should be an OCG list from back in 2016, and you know, from playing it here, you know, past couple of matches as well in the Cross-Banlist Cup, is that you feel how weak the deck is against hand traps, against disruption from your opponent. Especially if you're going second, like your opponent having maybe the warning, the strike, well, impermanence, whatever. But yeah, going first, I mean, I'm obviously talking about hand traps, and the thing is that a well-timed Ash Blossom could stop this deck, could stop this deck in its tracks. Okay, there are a lot of archetypes nowadays that, you know, could fall to a well-timed Ash Blossom, but I mean, I'm not looking at Eldritch or Adamantipator. But this deck from 2016 could be really, I mean, it's again like an Ash Blossom, or maybe here in this case the Gamma could have sealed the well not really. Okay, could have ended my turn, but again, let's face it, if you're you know, a Trickstar, Sky Striker, and pretty much not giving Dark Synchro the opening turn of potentially looping you, Dark Synchro pretty much lost after that. But I think like a top decked Reborn, or you know, some or no, it was like the combination of Jet Synchron and Malicious, I believe that was the case. The one of Thought of Avarice here in the deck, yeah, it was ridiculous. It recycles your Formula Synchron, your Trishula. If you know, go for the full loop, I probably could have done it a little bit different, but I was like, okay, let's just keep drawing, you know, the cards from my deck, and I eventually would draw into like a Soul Charge and maybe stack the top card of my deck with Plague Spreader, and then, you know, giving me the necessary turn. But again, it basically like gives me the certainty to draw into Soul Charge. But I was like, wait a minute, I activated Desires, and yeah, Soul Charge was banished off of Desires. But long story short, like the full combo of Dark Synchro is, you know, depending on which cards you banished off of Desires, if you activate it, you could go for like a triple Omega Trishula, and then, you know, use Trishula for the Crystal Wing, again a monster effect negation, use Pot of Avarice, and then, you know, send back Trishula and go for Trishula another time. So that's the 5th card from your opponent's hand. But anyway, doesn't really matter too much. Going for the Moonlight, Dragon Moonrose, right? Basically not giving the Trickstar deck a monster token, whatever, to play with. And this is indeed TG well played. So Dark Synchro stealing a game. Who knows? They might steal the match. Going second post side deck. Not really sure if there were too many cards I could side deck. You know, from the top of my head there was like Maxi, Twin Twister maybe, even though the Trickstar deck, well, maybe going second. I mean, what do you want to hit against this field? Well, okay, there's Impermanence. The Reincarnation is not really a card you want to hit. The Dead Field spell? Nah, not really. But the thing here is that, well, this is a thing. You definitely want to like, because you know there is a Trickstar Reincarnation set, because it was searched previously because of the, what is it called? The Cantina, indeed. So we know it was there, and you know, you want to play around it, set your hand, and then there's always the Trickstar player capitalizing on that and using the, you know, Heavy Stormduster or Twin Twister or whatever. And of course, I mean, you can't play against something like Trickstars or Trickstar Striker and not lose to a potential double engage. I mean, who's missing that combo or series of plays? At least, no, I'm not missing that. There is the Goblin, basically giving the deck extra normal summon, basically, again, the potential 4th monster on the field, you know, the potential Link 4 play, Yugioh, draw 4, whatever. Or Topologic, let's face it. I mean, Topologic is superb against this deck. It's very difficult for Dark Synchro to, first of all, yeah, get rid of the, you know, the Topologic, especially if there's like an interruption play from the opponent. So anyway, going first again, and 2 hand traps? Were there 2 hand traps? I think so, yeah. Yeah, what can I do? So that forces out the Plague Spreader. I have a couple of options, but it seems that going for Omega was a better play. Yeah, well, like the less worst play, if that makes sense. So getting right the Plague Spreader and of course hitting, randomly hitting a card from my opponent's hand and just leave my, you know, 3 weak effect monsters on board. But let's hope that set card is not the engage, but obviously it is. And yeah, there are 3 or more spells in the graveyard, so obviously again, Trickstar Sky Strikers for another double engage play. And you know, I mean, in this matchup, you know, I was getting kind of pissed, you know how it feels, right? Getting like multiple engaged, multiple hand traps during the first turn, you're like, ah man, this is not going to be my match. So Shizuku hits the field, you know, let's both monsters attack over the, oh, at least both of my monsters, the Lily Blade, I believe the name is, yeah. I don't think there was a potential link for play yet in main phase 1, but it will. So Topologic should hit the field, and we know there is the, you know, the trap card set. Yeah, the reincarnation. I get the reincarnation here. I mean, it, well, the Trickstar burn, well, the burn damage not really relevant, but at the same time it triggers troll. I mean, as what happens, it could have been indeed a tuner, so okay, I guess you want to make sure that there is at least that reincarnation is live in the graveyard for the potential Lilybell or whatever to special summon it to the field and trigger the Topologic. And here I was like, well, what can I do? Okay, Omega is going to return, but there is again, or there aren't really too many outs to get rid of the Topologic. Coral Dragon is one of them, Trishla is also one of them, and Trishla could have hit the field here. So okay, I get the goats play, and I was like, well, okay, I need to protect my board. Drop the Gofu, and I was like, well, no, maybe I can do more stuff. So going for the Level Eater as well eventually, and drop the Coral Dragon. I was like, oh wait, that was a mistake because of Topologic, right? I mean, if Topologic attacks a monster, you'll get like burn damage equal to the original attack. So I was like, well, that's personally something that I overlooked, sorry. I mean, it's just, you know, getting double engaged multiple times, multiple hand traps, it's getting to you. And here I kind of scooped a bit too early, because now we see the hand. I'm not really sure what was top decked. Was it Driver? Yeah, I mean, whatever. Game number 4, so let's go for it, going first, and again get double hand trapped. I mean, again the Blossom. You know, the Gamma as well, and I was like, okay, I do have Reborn, there is Malicious in graveyard, I could potentially go for like a level 7 Synchro play, go for Ancient Fairy Dragon, but that's it. So I was like, okay, let's keep that, and maybe, you know, if the opponent, like, normal summons Candina, sets 1 pass? No, not really. And, you know, like, maybe go for Ancient Fairy Dragon, get rid of your opponent's field spell, search my own chicken game, and maybe, you know, get a comeback. But it's not going to happen. I mean, if you're leaving your field wide open, yeah, oh, this speaks for itself. Again, the Goblins, the field this time in main phase 1. Giving the Candina the extra normal summon, Lilybell hits the field, and this is again, yeah, pretty much OTK. So Sayuja hits the field, eventually giving the Trickstar, and well, okay, and the extra attack boost, it's not going to matter too much. I mean, this is definitely more than enough to attack for game. If this wasn't enough, the burn damage would definitely get him there. So, well, yeah, okay. Well-deserved winner? No. Hand traps, disruption, double engage. What can the old school deck from 2016 do against that? So Trickstar Sky Strikers moving on to the top 16. Next matchup we have again the 2 decks from the more balanced groups, and that's, well, balanced. We have 2020 GB, again, Master Rule 5, right? Gladiator Beast from the current state of the game. In the current format, it's going to take on the Synchro Cat, so Arms Whole Loop featuring pre-errata stuff like Brionic and so on. So which deck is going to win this one? Feel free to leave like a prediction. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.